A few decades ago, even up till now in some very developed countries, the only way infants were being fed was via breastfeeding. This means that if there was no mother to breastfeed the child, the baby is no more too. In fact, an infant's only means of survival is if there is another breastfeeding mother nearby to take over the feeding. And as such, the survival of infants was on the sole reliance on breastfeeding, and this also limited mothers or women generally, as they couldn't go anywhere without their infants. Therefore, mothers found it very difficult to work or even school. Subsequently, baby formulas came to the rescue, which was a savior to both infants and mothers. And over time, companies have developed better baby formulas that, unlike before, breastfeeding is now optional even to mothers that are available. But one truth is that the ancient practice of breastfeeding has its benefits for both the babies and their mothers, and dare I confidently say, many of these benefits are more than what the best of baby formulas can ever provide. So join me in this video as I show you why breastfeeding is better than formula feeding. Please understand that both feeding options are very okay, and you're free to choose whichever one you prefer to use. But I'm sure that you're going to learn something from today's video, and this will help you to make the better choice when it comes to feeding your baby. The World Health Organization recommends that mothers should breastfeed their children till up to 2 years. And even pediatricians recommend that you don't just breastfeed, you practice exclusive breastfeeding. If you don't know what exclusive breastfeeding is, it's feeding a child with just breast milk till the child is 6 months of age. That's when you could introduce other forms of nutrition to the child. This is different from predominant breastfeeding, in which the child is fed mostly with breast milk, but then other forms of nutrition are being given to the child too. So exclusive breastfeeding is recommended. And in this video, I'm going to give you benefits for both the mother and the baby, and why you will have to agree with these recommendations. Yes, we understand that some mothers would not be able to breastfeed, maybe due to health challenges and other reasons. It's okay. We're going to start with the benefits for babies, and then we'll move to the benefits for mothers. And the first benefit for babies is that it is nutritious. There are a lot of baby formulas that are being produced regularly, and they tend to be improved. But one thing is that no matter what, baby formulas do not in any way match the nutritional value of breast milk. The breast milk by far beats baby formula. Wow. So if as a mother you want the best for your child, breast milk, it's that simple. It's way better than whichever baby formula you're going to get at whatever price it is. Yeah. Then the second reason is that it's convenient for the baby. Baby cries, so far as the mother is there, she just removes the breast milk and give the baby ready-made. It doesn't need any form of preparation, as we call it in Nigeria. Sharp, sharp, you get your milk. Unlike if you're preparing baby formula first, you have to maintain hygiene. So if you have done any form of chores that compromises your neatness, you have to clean up and prepare the milk. Make sure that it's at the right temperature, it's not too hot or too cold for the baby. Unlike when it's coming from the mother's breast, it's the right temperature. Immediately you give the child. So the baby does not need to cry for long before he or she gets his or her food. So it's quite convenient for the baby, and it helps them. Then the third benefit is that apart from nourishing the baby, the mother actually passes antibodies or some forms of immunity to the baby through the breast milk. So breastfed children have better immunity than those that are formula fed, because formula till date do not contain any form of antibodies that mothers naturally give babies when they're breastfeeding. So yes, apart from the nutrients a child gets, the mother also passes immunoglobulins to the child, which helps the child to be able to fight some form of diseases that he or she might be exposed to. So has better chances of fighting infections compared to a child that isn't. Then the next reason is that breastfed children have lower chances of coming down with first allergic conditions like asthma, atopic dermatitis, and even eczema. So it's been proven over and over again that children that have been breastfed do not usually come down with asthma compared to those that haven't been. So even some of the skin conditions that you see a lot of children coming down with or developing, it's found commonly among babies that have not been breastfed compared to those that haven't been. Yes, immunoglobulin E helps us generally to be able to tackle allergic conditions better, and that's been transferred from breast milk. Then the next health condition that breastfeeding lowers the risk of is type 1 diabetes, and it's commoner among the younger age group. Children that are being breastfed are less likely to come down with type 1 diabetes compared to those that aren't. And in addition to that is that children that are breastfed are less likely to be obese compared to children that are not. Also, children that are breastfed are less likely to experience something we call sudden infant death syndrome. An infant is a child between 1 month to 1 year. After 1 year, a child becomes a toddler. So sudden infant is like the sudden death of an infant, and usually the cause is not known. So children that are being breastfed are less likely to experience that compared to those that are not. In addition to this, it's also that children that are breastfed are less likely to develop otitis media, which is inflammation of the middle ear, and also a form of cancer known as leukemia, is cancer of the white blood cell. So these, among other health conditions, are less likely to be experienced by children that are breastfed compared to those that are not. Then the next point is that studies have shown that breastfed children are likely to have higher intelligence scores and less likely to develop behavioral problems compared to those that are not. Breastfeeding has been linked with proper development of the brain, which accounts for these two benefits. So breastfeeding is good for the mental development of children. And we know that the brain has to do with intelligence, behavior, and even emotions. So it helps a lot. If you want your child to be doing well upstairs, breastfeed. And the last benefit of breastfeeding for babies in this video is that it helps the baby to bond with the mother. So breastfeeding is also a very physical and emotional process. Apart from the fact that the baby is sucking the breast, there's also skin contact because the mother has to bring the child close to her. And then there are usually some forms of eye contact between the baby and the mother, and this helps them bond better compared to those that don't breastfeed. And this directly ties us to the benefits for the mother, which we're going to start with. It helps mothers to bond better with their babies. So mothers that breastfeed are more attached to their babies compared to those that don't. So it helps foster their relationship better. Then breastfeeding has been shown to reduce the risk of breast and ovarian cancers among mothers. Also, it's been linked with reduced risk of having hypertension and type 2 diabetes mellitus. Another benefit again to mothers is that it helps in weight reduction immediately after pregnancy. So mothers that breastfeed are more likely to lose weight that they gain in the course of pregnancy compared to mothers that don't. So if after delivery you want to get back to shape as a woman, breastfeeding helps a lot. So even with the dieting and exercise you're going to do when you're breastfeeding, it improves your chances of losing weight compared to if you're not breastfeeding. Breastfeeding also has been shown to reduce the risk of a mother getting depressed. Studies have shown that breastfeeding mothers are less likely to be depressed compared to mothers that don't, because there's the love hormone that is being produced, oxytocin. It helps bond. So when a baby is suckling, that oxytocin is being stimulated and produced in the brain of the mother to help produce milk. And this, the love hormone, also helps them bond. And who doesn't need love? Love is good for us. It helps us in terms of our mental health too. People that are surrounded by those that love them are less likely to experience mental health issues compared to those that are left on their own, especially depression. And yes, breastfeeding also offers some form of contraceptives to mothers. It's been shown that amongst some mothers, so far as they continue breastfeeding, they are not likely to get pregnant. However, this is not really reliable as many mothers conceive even while breastfeeding. Because of its unreliability, many times during postnatal care, we recommend contraceptive, especially to mothers that want to delay conception till later on in life. And if they want to totally stop too, there are other means to do that. But please don't risk it still. Then the last point for mothers is that it saves time and money. Yes, it's very convenient. So when a child needs to breastfeed, you just remove breast milk and give the child. You don't need to do anything extra. Unlike when you're preparing a baby formula, the time might be something you don't have. Then for the money, baby formulas are very, very expensive. Breast milk does not finish. Baby formula, they finish and you have to get them. So imagine how much you have to spend on baby formula if you're doing that. So I hope that I was able to convince you guys as to why you should breastfeed.